You'll find a Mets fan. Let's go. This is a Mets year. For all your Mets here, let's go. Bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home
exciting, thrilling, awesome. Let's take a look.
What's up, Met fans? Welcome back to Talking Mets. Hey, Rob and Mets PreGame live here for the first series of the year without NL East rivals, the Braves and the Mets at Citifield. A very cold, windy, and rainy Citifield, especially during this entire weekend. It is going to be a cold, wet, extremely uncomfortable series for night games and day games. It's not going to be it's definitely not Atlanta weather, and it's definitely not June, July, and August weather in New York. It is going to be very, very cold, very, very wet, and it's going to be an interesting series nonetheless. And it's also going to be, I guarantee, there's a pretty good chance that tomorrow's game is going to be rained out, and that's going to be very interesting if they're going to play a doubleheader on Sunday or Monday. Sunday, it looks like the weather is supposed to be a little bit better. It's going to be chilly, might be a little rainy. And Monday might be the other day they might do a doubleheader because, as you guys know, we only play each other 13 times a year. So, and each team only goes back to the other stadium one more time this year. So the Braves only come back one more time, and that is going to be hard because I think it's in August, if I'm not mistaken. And that is, who knows what the scheduling might be a problem. So hopefully they do get the games in, but tomorrow is going to be very difficult since it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And tonight it is already drizzling in Queens at Citifield. It's 50 degrees. It's going to get in the mid 40s by probably around 8 o'clock tonight. So it's going to be cold, windy, and rainy at Citifield. So it's going to be a very interesting game today for sure. A lot of problems with grip on the ball. Probably going to be a heck of a lot of issues for both teams. It's not going to be pleasant to play in that field today. So unfortunately for all of us, I don't think there's going to be a rain delay today. Everything looks like they're going to start on time. So game 1, Mets Braves NL East rivalry showdown right here on the channel. So don't forget to please hit on that like button. And if you're a new subscriber, say what's up and let me know where you're from. Don't care if you're a Mets fan, Braves fan, baseball fan in general, just checking out a stream. Just enjoy, have fun, keep it respectful, root for your team, and that's what we do here on the channel. So once again, guys, the pitching matchups for today, which will be at the bottom of your screen along with the Mets lineup. I'll put that up in just a second. It is very obvious if you look at the pitching matchups. It was supposed to be Jose Butto on Sunday, but now it's TBD. So I don't really know what is the change there. I guess because they're leaving it TBD for the Mets because of the fact that the rain might be an issue and it might be a doubleheader. Who knows? But Jose Butto was supposed to start on Sunday. But at the moment, the Braves clearly have the pitching matchup. No matter who you throw on there, if it's not Scherzer and Verlander against these guys, the Braves clearly have the pitching matchups the way you probably would want it. That they do. It does favor the Braves a lot when you got Fried and Strider back to back. You're clearly going to have you're going to favor the pitchers of the Braves at the moment and probably throughout the entire series. Charlie Morton, and at the time was supposed to be Jose Butto. You always go with the veteran there, but again, that could be iffy because Morton hasn't pitched great this year either. But it is very interesting the fact that this is probably, it was similar to last year when the Mets didn't have DeGrom and Scherzer was out and we faced the Braves last year early on. People assumed that they had the pitching matchups again, and the Mets did take advantage of beating them early on in the season. So again, you got to play the game on the field. It really doesn't matter what your roster looks like. Again, the Marlins can beat the Braves, the Nationals can beat the Mets, as we've seen. And again, there's flaws with every one of the teams here in the NL East. Both teams got injuries. I know Michael Harris just got off the IL for the Braves, so he's in the lineup. But, there's a lot of problem, right? The Braves bullpen is probably one thing the Braves don't trust right now, considering the fact that their lineup and their rotation is pretty solid, really good right now. But their bullpen, Minters gave up, 10 runs in 2 games? It's been a problem. And their bullpen, that's the thing that I did. If you checked out my series preview video that I put up earlier today, I already said that what you got to do for the keys to success for the Mets, there's 2 of them really, and I think that's extremely important. And one thing, keep them in the ballpark. That is number 1. You keep the Braves in the ballpark. They're a high strikeout team. If you keep them in the ballpark, you have a really good shot at beating them. But even if I take out the long ball, if you get in their bullpen, if you work the pitch count of these starters and you get them out of the game early, and I'm not talking about 4th inning early, I'm talking about 5th inning early, around that, maybe even 6th inning, you get into their bullpen, they're struggling right now, and that's where you want to go when you're facing this team. And again, a high strikeout team that is home run heavy. I think they're 2nd in the league, 3rd in the league in home runs right now. If you stop them from getting those home runs and getting those long balls, you're going to be in the ball game. The Mets don't have no problem getting people on base. That's basically their MO. They got 4 guys with over 400 on base percentage. They're up there. And the problem with the Mets is driving those runs in. Yesterday, we finally seen guys break out that we've been waiting for. Alonso finally got his 0 for 20 slump out of the way. Got a couple of RBIs there. Lindor looked better. Marte looked better. Nimmo started to pick it up a little bit more. And Vogelback has been a little bit better as of late as well. So the lineup is starting to hit. And again, this lineup works and runs on confidence. All right. This is a team that you notice when their confidence is low, they have a hard time pushing that along. And again, we don't have a big home run team like the Braves, so we need a couple of guys in this lineup to get going, because when you constantly get guys on base, you got to get those runs in. And especially against a team like the Braves that are scoring 5.2 runs per ball game, and you got the Mets that are scoring 4.5 runs per ball game. Well, that's almost a full run difference, and something's got to give, right? If the Mets are going to stay status quo with their runs, and the pitching staff, the starting rotation is going to give up around 5 runs per ball game, something's going to tip either way. It's either going to go really bad or really good. So that is something that we have to watch during this game. But when the Mets are going well, everybody knows what they do. They work the count. They work the pitch count of the starting pitcher. They get them out early, and they go to the bullpen. You can only go to your bullpen so many times with your best arms, especially in a 4-game series. Let them work. Fried throws a lot of junk, right? He doesn't like to throw his breaking balls for strikes. He likes to throw them balls in the dirt, right? You can't fish for them. Let him work. And Strider is on another stratosphere right now. He's been throwing a lot more strikes. His problem last year was walks. He limit those this year so far. But again, a team like the Mets that takes a lot of pitches, that fouls off a lot of pitches, works the count, could annoy Strider. Again, he's been really good this year. But in the games that he pitched against the Mets last year, when we're going to go on last year, even though I think he's better this year, when he doesn't do well against the Mets work the count and have long innings. And that is something that they got to continue to do, especially with Fried, especially with Strider. But tonight, we'll talk a little bit about David Peterson, and I'll get to everybody in a second to say what's up and let me know just to see what's going on in the comments. David Peterson this is probably his last chance to stay in this rotation, right? You can't have a 7 ERA and expect to be in this rotation. I don't care what type of injuries this rotation has. You can't stay up there. Find somebody else in the minors that can throw a 5 ERA. That's a two ERA run difference. You can't continue to go out there and having Peterson give your chance. You can't be down 4 runs by the 3rd inning. I mean, it's hard to come back against any team, let alone the Braves, who have a really good pitching rotation. That is the issue that we're seeing from Peterson right now. That slider that he was so good with last year, those balls are going over the fence now. He's not locating his fastball. The high fastball, which is really damn good, is something that he's got away from this year. And that slider is not going to trick a lot of people when that fastball is middle in around the plate. That is something that you have to change. You have to fix. I don't know if it was mechanics. I don't know if he was tipping his pitches. It's impossible to figure out what it is, but he has to figure it out, right? That's why you got a pitching coach. That's why you got other pitchers in there and hitters to say, hey, listen, you're tipping your pitches. You're tipping your slider. Something's got to give, because he's got good stuff. It's not mental. It's clearly the stuff that is not really doing the thing right now. And that is something that I just don't understand with Peterson, because he's got the stuff, and that's unfortunate. But we'll see, right? He's going against a really solid lineup, a really good lineup, a potent lineup, a power-ridden lineup. And again, Peterson has given up a ton of home runs this year, and it's early on in the season. That's the reason why he has over a 7 ERA. That's got to change. So that's where we are with David Peterson. With Max Fried, he has a 0.60 ERA this year. He's been very good, right? The Mets have gotten to him in the past. And that's another guy, like I said earlier, he throws a lot of those garbage breaking balls and off-speed pitches away from the strike zone. If you lay off those pitches and let him come into the zone, you got an opportunity to beat him up a little bit. Again, he hasn't been beaten up a lot this year. So that is something that you just have to pay attention to. Work the counts. Continue to work the counts. They're showing Jeff McNeil's career against Max Fried, 10 for 27, 370 batting average, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, and an 829 OPS. So you got guys in the lineup that are really have really good numbers against Max Fried. Brett Beatty yesterday, his first home run as a New York Met in 2023. and first home run at home for Brett Beatty. And he's been on a tear. I think he's batting like 390 over his last 9 games. He's finally showing up right now. He's in the lineup. And the first time this year that Buck Showalter has put Brett Beatty in a lineup against a tough left-hander, giving him a little bit of confidence there. So we'll see if Brett Beatty can do it. Francisco Alvarez is back in the lineup, but we'll get into that in a little bit as well. So, exactly, JL, exactly. And exactly what Max Fried again. You know, I'm never here telling you that I watch every Braves game, right? I look at the stats, I look at some highlights, I look at their important numbers, strikeouts, walks, stuff like that. So what I've seen from the stats, and again, I don't watch them every pitch of every day like Brave fans would, but what I've seen and what I've tried to look at that I think is important, especially when you face a team that takes a lot of walks, has a lot of on-base guys. If you get him into that little corner there, especially Max Fried, he can fall into a little bit of trouble there. Not saying that the Mets are going to beat him up all over the yard. It's possible, but you got to remember, too, right? The Mets have been struggling offensively until last night, and the Braves bullpen is probably the least confident Brave fans would be if they can say, what is your least part of your team? They're going to say the bullpen right now. So that is something that you just have to look at when it comes to, the flaws of both teams, because let's be honest, there's flaws on every team right now. And especially in the NL East, that all teams in the NL East, the top 3 have had major injuries and big injuries that they had to overcome, right? They all had to overcome. But you know what? For the Mets and the Braves, they're both over 500. They're both playing, for the most part, in the first month of the season pretty well. And what else can you ask for a team like the Mets that has 4 of their 5 pitchers not in the rotation? I'm sorry, if you take any 4 guys out of your rotation and 2 of them are your best starting pitchers out of your 5, and 4 of them are out of the rotation and you replace them with other guys, how much better would they be? Would they probably be worse off than the Mets, right? If you take Max Fried and Strider off of the rotation for almost the entire month and not even pitch, right? Take your best pitcher in the Braves rotation, take him out, and take Scherzer out, and then take Max Fried out, which is your number 1 and number 2. How much better would they be? Well, they probably clobber some teams offensively, but how much better would they be? I don't think that much better than the Mets, right? The Braves have a luxury right now. They have their starters going right now. They have their top 2 going right now. That is that is what you have to look at as well. Everybody wants to kill the Mets for being 15-11 with 4 of your 5 guys in your rotation out of the rotation for almost the entire month. Remember, no Quintana, no Verlander for the first month of the season. Scherzer missed 10 days because of the suspension, and then you also had Carlos Carrasco 2 weeks into the season go down. That is a lot to overcome in a month. And there's still 4 games over 500 and only 2 back from a Braves team that has been, for the most part, rotation-wise and mostly lineup, has been healthy besides Michael Harris. They've been mostly healthy. So that is something that you also have to look at as well. Again, there should be no excuses, but when people make excuses for the Phillies right now, and it seems like that's all they're doing is making excuses for the Phillies right now, what's wrong with the Braves and the Mets that have been playing well with the injuries they had? So that is something that you also have to, all the issues that they had. And then, everybody's giving the benefit of the doubt for the Phillies, which isn't fair to the Braves and the Mets, who actually have, if not big injury, similar injuries as big name-wise, but they also have problems as well. So it's unfortunate, and it's funny to me how people think, and trying to be unbiased. Let's be honest, the Braves and the Mets really do have injuries that could have, be a problem so far earlier in the season. And for the most part, it really hasn't, because the Mets played well, the Braves have played well. The Phillies, yes, they don't have Harper, but they also didn't have Harper for a while last year, and they stood afloat and kept their wild card hopes alive. And also they had Rhys Hoskins last year, and this year they don't. But yet they did get Turner. They have their rotation healthy. And their bullpen that is supposed to be so good, and they changed it, hasn't been as good, except for Alvarado, who's been very good this year. But again, you can't bring up injuries for one team and make excuses there and not injuries for another team. And again, and the Mets and Braves should be allowed a lot more than the Phillies to be what the Phillies are right now, which is what, just under 500. If the Mets and Braves were just under 500 right now, everybody would understand what the injuries both teams have had. But they're not doing that, and that's unfair to both teams. But we got about 8 minutes until game time. I think it's 7:10 start, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7:10 start for the Mets and Braves at Citifield. Again, rainy, cold, windy. Very baseball-like conditions, if you ask me, in New York. But, of course, 2 weeks ago it was 80 degrees in, the early part of April, and we're just about to hit May, and it's freezing. And it's cold, it's wet. They were expecting huge crowds tonight or the next 4 games. But, again, it's not pleasant. And I'm telling you right now, I love sitting in the upper deck in 515 behind home plate. Best views, I think, in the ballpark. It's not pleasant up there right now. And I tell you right now, it's windy, it's cold. I'm jacket, hoodie, gloves. It probably won't even matter. You're going to freeze. It's going to be cold, but all the people that are sticking it out there, and you can already tell in Citi Field, if you look at the left field level, which is like the 126 to 131 section, when you see that starting to fill up prior to the game, it's still going to be a pretty good crowd. So that is something that you're going to see, especially when it's cold. I know the 7 line has an out in today, so they're going to be packing up center field today as well. So, no, everybody, the game is not postponed. The rain is hold off. It's drizzled a little bit, but they're going to get this game in. Tomorrow, different story. Yeah, JL, I know. Listen, I know many people have done that before. And again, that's why when people talk about, oh, you can't lose to this team. How did you lose to this team? Bad teams, for the most part, are going to lose 60 games just like they're probably going to win 60 games. Sometimes the best teams in baseball are going to lose to those bad teams. It happens. And I'm not saying you're going to lose series all the time, but you might, right? You might lose a series against the Marlins or the Nationals or whatever bad team is out there. And, the Mets already have. And would anybody be shocked if the Braves lose to a bad team, to a series to a bad team? No, it's just baseball. If as long as you got a pretty damn good over 500 record against bad teams, and play 500 ball, maybe a little bit worse, a little bit better against the teams over 500, you're going to have 90 plus wins. It's just mathematics fact. It's just simple math if you do it like that. I mean, for the most part, look at the Braves last year, right? For the majority of the year, up until the end of August, they struggled against 500 teams, but they were killer against teams under 500. And you know what? It padded their W's. And when it mattered in September to face good teams, they finally took advantage of it and started to win those games. And maybe that's a recipe to win. Who knows, right? I think any way you get to 90 plus wins, and especially in the National League this year, where I think probably anywhere between 90 and 92 wins is probably going to get you to probably 89 to 91 probably. I'm going to go 89 to 92 is probably going to get you in the last wild card, considering the fact that there isn't a lot of teams except the ones you already know, even though the Arizona has been playing well. I guess you can say mostly the Cubs have been playing good. They're like a 500 team or so that I think they could be. So that is something that, yeah, exactly. The Nationals just beat the Twins, who are in first place in the NL Central, 2 out of 3. So it's like, it happens. And I think, what you don't want to do is lose teams. You don't want to lose series against bad teams, but they do happen. And unfortunately, they do. So let me get to the lineup really quick, guys. They'll be scrolling at the bottom of your screen along with the pitching matchup for that's game 28 today. That's all right. I put 24. I don't know why I did that, but that's okay. That's what happens when you live, right? You got to make mistakes. All right, there we go. So again, Braves, Mets, game 28 of the season for the Mets. 26, 27, 26, 15 and 11. That's 26, right? So game 27, excuse me. I'll get it right sooner or later, guys. It's okay. All right, there we go. So the pitching matchup, David Peterson against Max Fried, both left-handers on the mound. Fried has been very good. Peterson has been really bad. So, again, if you go into the game tomorrow, they're giving out that weird knit-looking robot Mr. Met thingy. I don't know what the hell that is, but if you go in, go get it. All right, so Brendan Nimmo leading off, playing center field. Starler Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor batting third, playing shortstop. Pete Alonso cleaning up, playing first base. Jeff McNeil batting fifth, playing left field. Mark Canha DH and batting sixth. Tommy Pham playing left field, batting seventh. Brett Beatty, who had a great night last night, batting eighth, playing third base. And Francisco Alvarez catching, batting ninth. So that is your lineup for the Mets. Let me just check something. 1 second. I just want to see if I did get that right. Is Beatty playing? Yeah, Beatty is playing third base. Okay, I got that. Okay, I see that. All right, perfect, guys. So game day is going to come up just now. The game's going to start in a few minutes, and of course, you're going to get the game audio as well. So make sure you hit on that like button. KT, I'm okay with it. To be honest with you, I'm not thrilled about it. But again, if you can always bolster what is probably your best part of your team, why not? That's the way I see it. I think they had to go best man available. I think when you're in that range of picks in the first round, I think you just go best man available, no matter what you might need. I think because sometimes what you might need, it might not be there. You might as well just take a best man available, in my opinion. And I think that's what a lot of teams did yesterday, to be honest. All right, guys. So we're going to change it over to game day view. Just give me 1 second and you'll be ready to go. Got about 2 minutes until game time. You guys know the drill. If you don't know the drill, I'll let you know. So you're going to have game day up right on your screen. You're going to see the score. You're going to see the box score. You're going to see the bases, the runners on base. You're going to see the count. You're going to see the outs, the batter, the pitcher, all that fun stuff. On the left of you, you're going to see the summary of all the pitchers and the at-bats. And you're going to get me on the side of instant reactions as well. And you're also going to get the game audio from today. It's going to be Pix 11, but you're still going to get Gary, Keith, and Ron on the call. So you'll get that, which is always a good thing. So once it starts, you guys know. Let me know in the comments when you start hearing the audio and if it sounds good to you. So once again, please hit on that like button. If you want to donate to the channel, you can use super sticker, super chat, or to make it easier for a lot of people that have been asking me, Venmo has been the way to go for a lot of people. So at RobL813 is the donation to the channel for Venmo, and Cash App is the same thing, RobL813 if you got that. So if you want to donate, please do. I appreciate that. So here we go, guys. Mets, Braves, round 1, 4-game series. Game 1 at Citifield, rainy, cold, wet, Citifield, and windy. So, and the Mets are in their blackout jerseys today for Friday night at home. So first blackout Friday of the year. Here we go. Peterson on the mound. Acuna coming up. Here we go, guys.
Look out for Albies and Murphy, who are hot against left.
Let me know in the comments, guys, if you can hear the stream.
Riley, who personally is 8 for 16 off David.
Well, Acuna getting set to lead off. You can understand why he would have the on-deck circle good 10 or 15 minutes before the game. His first inning at bats have been something to behold. In the first inning this year, Acuna is 14 for 24. He's hitting .583 with 5 doubles and a home run in the first inning.
And your Mets defense brought to you by your local Ford stores. Alvarez getting back-to-back starts as Brett Beatty again against the left-hander at third base. And Tommy Pham, of course, against the left-hander, gets the start in left field. Marte and Nimmo rounded out.
David Peterson ready to go. Ronald Acuna in the batter's box. First pitch of the night is drilled to short.
And 1 pitch, 1 out to Lindor.
Begin this one. Acuna was ready. Another hard hit ball off his back. But Lindor there to snag it for the first out of the night.
Well, played him perfectly right there at the backhand. I find it so funny. His defensive chart of way to play did not end up in his pocket. It ended up in the outfield grass. Never knew when to play because he didn't have it.
Here's Matt Olson hitting second in the order, and he shows bunt with Beatty playing back at third. Olson's been struggling lately. Since April 18th, just 5 for 33. is the epitome of the three true outcome swinger. 7 home runs, 42 strikeouts, which leads the National League, and 18 walks, which is tied for second in the league.
7 home runs, all against right-handers, 20 strikeouts against left-handers, and 36 at-bats.
And he checks the swing, takes a
Nice to see Peterson throwing some strikes there.
He also does have 2 home runs against Peterson in just 8 career at-bats. David's made 3 starts against the Braves at Citifield and 1 wall. And he goes away with the fastball, 2-2 to Olsen.
Against Tigers. Olsen, before he was traded to the A's as an Oakland A, had over 20 home runs against left-handers in that year.
Last year, 34 home runs in his first year in Atlanta. And Peterson goes to the slider. This is his 3-2. There's Austin Riley in the on-deck circle. A frequently experienced spot for Olsen, who calls time as Peterson's holding the ball on him, running down the pitch clock.
Olsen seems like he's a little more crouched this year.
Now that over the plate.
Strike 3 with the curveball. Nice pitch by Peterson, 2 outs.
Not much to say when a guy rolls a curveball like that.
Wasn't expecting that pitch. Good start by Peterson.
So 2 out and nobody on now. Austin Riley, who like Olsen has been struggling the last 10 days, 5 for his last 34, and he goes after a first pitch changeup. 0-1. So Peterson showing the whole arsenal here in the first inning over his first 8 pitches. Riley finished 6th in the MVP balloting last year in the National League. Fouls away the fastball.
There you go, using that fastball.
Peterson's come out fine
And working quickly. And you're right, Gary. We said that when he was in Los Angeles, that he needs to have all his pitches working in the first.
13 runs allowed in his last 2 starts. Trying to get off to a fast beginning of this game against a guy who has hit him hard, 8 for 16. Riley against Peterson. Light rain has begun to fall. It's supposed to get heavier as the night goes along. And rain is in the forecast the next couple of days as well.
And he strikes him out. Good first inning for David Peterson. 1-2-3. Nice start by Peterson. Olsen, Riley, 2 strikeouts for Peterson to end the top of the first. Bottom of the first coming up. 1-2-3 for the Mets. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Let's get a Let's Go Mets chant in the chat. First round of Mets versus Braves. Game 1 at Citifield. Again, it's already drizzling at Citifield. It's supposed to get heavier throughout the day or the night, excuse me. So it's going to be very uncomfortable while the night goes on. But good start for Peterson. And we already seen what we talked about this. Again, it's not easy. It's not hard to figure out Peterson, right? What he needs to do. If he spots his fastball, throws that high fastball, and gets those breaking balls over and sharp and keep them in the middle in the zone, and they drop out off the table there and get them swinging there, they're a big strikeout team. You keep them in the ballpark and you get these guys to strike out. Again, Olsen, 40-plus strikeouts already in the season. And Riley has been struggling. He's also a strikeout guy. A lot of these guys are strikeout guys. You got to get them early. And that is important against the Braves team. Again, this is the Braves haven't changed much, right? They're a home run hitting team, but they're a high strikeout team. You increase the strikeouts, you lower the home runs, you got a good chance of beating them. And so far, so good. Again, it's 1 inning, but nice to see Peterson come out swinging, throwing all his pitches so far for the first inning. So that's a good start. See if the Mets can continue their scoring spree as they had 9 runs yesterday. Let's see if they can keep it going here. Don't let Max Fried breathe. It's an uncomfortable day. It's a wet day. It's a windy day. Make him uncomfortable. Make him stay out there. Make him feel tight. That's what the Mets have to do. Again, Fried has been excellent this year, but he can struggle. He has struggled against the Mets in the past, especially at Citifield. So we will see what the Mets can do offensively against Fried, who has been very, very good this season. So here we go, guys. VENMO leading off. No score, bottom of the first.
The table's late in the season. Max Fried's first Fastball in for a strike. Well, a couple of hits last night, and the Mets come back win against the Nats. 341 on the year, third in the National League, right behind Acuna.
Ground ball, and nice play by Olsen. One out.
And makes the play for the first down. That's lineup brought to you by Optimum. Tommy Pham and against the left.
Ken, that's what we need to see from Peterson.
This year against the left-hander, his first start against the lefty in his rookie season was against Max Fried. He gets the start again today.
All right, Marte's coming up with one out. Marte has been king yesterday. Started to heat up a little bit yesterday. Like to see that. Better at bats he had the last two nights.
Opening day start. And missed a couple of weeks. Came back 2 scoreless efforts in a row. Most recently 6 2/3.
Batting .250 against Fried, 6 for 14.
Starling Marte hitting .286 against lefties this year. And takes a fastball for a strike and it's 1-1.
Since the beginning of 2020, he's 36 and 14.
I'm glad, Gary.
At 2.60.
Last year finished second in the Cy Young ballot behind Sandy
Ooh, nice pitch.
And he comes back with a slider swung at this one too. 3-time Gold Glover, 55 and 25 for his career. For all great pitchers and Braves,
You got to lay off that slider that he rarely throws for a strike.
Less than a point behind Greg Maddux.
And took the fastball inside, strike 3. So both left-handers so far. Fooling hitters so far in the first inning.
Austin Riley and third on Grissom, his 13th start at shortstop. Orlando Arcia got hurt early. He's filled in nicely. Michael Harris, first game back, rookie of the year last year from the DIL, excuse me.
Francisco Lindor takes a fastball for a strike. Lindor's never had much luck against Fried, just 3 for 23 in his career. As Harris coming back from back problems of sideline in the last 3 weeks. And Lindor fouls off the slider and it's 0-2.
Looks like Fried is pretty sharp out of the chute here, Ryan. Yeah, he's adopted a lot of what you see from Clayton Kershaw now. Used to be fastball, curveball, his fastball, cutter, changeup, occasional curveball, and his curveball's nasty. You can see the rain there.
Rain always looks harder on TV
Yes.
than it is in real life.
Right.
It's raining very lightly right now.
Yeah, they did not put the tarp on the field. Both teams took BP on the field.
3 ahead 0-2. And
Nice take by Lindor. That was not easy to take there.
Lindor's had such a strange year at the plate. He's only got 22 hits, but 15 of them were for extra bases, which is tied
Yeah, I agree,
for the
Ken.
National League lead. Takes that fastball inside 2-2.
Judah, they're not going to postpone it. This game's getting played no matter what.
It's just, and plus the RBI too is just off to a terrific start. 21.
2-2 coming.
Good eye. Again, if you don't swing at those sliders, that he never throws for strikes, you have a chance because he comes in the zone with that fastball.
Full count to Lindor.
There's the fastball in the zone.
Charging is Riley.
And that ends the inning. So no score in the first top and bottom half of the first. Quick innings for both Fried and Peterson. Going to the top of the second, no score. Yeah, I agree with the young players. Again, the Braves have been bringing up young players for a couple of years now, so they're ahead. But again, at some point, the Mets brought up McNeil and Nimmo and Alonso. Those are young players too, and they're still somewhat young. But, they brought up those guys as well. Again, the Braves brought up their top prospects. Besides, Nimmo and McNeil, they weren't top prospects. McNeil was considered somewhat of a top prospect. I mean, Nimmo was considered the top, not even a top 5 prospect. But, those two guys came up and they were young. Well, McNeil was a little bit older, but Nimmo was what, 24, 25. So So yeah, I mean, you know what? If Beatty and Alvarez continue to look better and better with each at bat and each day, well, there's a couple of new young guys that we got. There you go, Gary. Yeah, jail. Well, yeah, and you know what? It benefits the team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, in my opinion, right? The Mets are, scratch together 4 or 5 hits in a row. Get on base with walks. First to third on base hits, stuff like that. Second to home on base hits. Stealing a couple of bases, right? And let's be honest. The Braves aren't a base to base team, right? They're not. They're not gonna be a team that hits 4, 5, 6, singles in a row here, right? They're teams that they win games by hitting home runs over the wall, and in a cold, wet, windy day, that is probably not gonna. The ball's not gonna travel a lot unless you really crush it. It's gonna be interesting to see how it works out today. So top of the second, Albies is up. Peterson on the mound.
Always played the 60 games last year. First he broke his foot. Then after he came back, he broke his finger. So it was a curtailed year for Albies. So 2 years ago, he had 30 home runs and broke 106. And he's off to that kind of start this year.
He's got big left-right splits.
Much better for this side of the plate. 371 right-handed, 197 left-handed. Snicker has enjoyed such remarkable success since becoming Braves manager. That's yanked on.
There you go. Nice play. And one out.
A lot of balls in on the hands, off the end of the bat. That was off the end of the bat. That was not a catch. Good call. So why does he look to the umpire for a call? Like he would know the shortstop did. So was it doing the play?
One out. Murphy up.
So 1 out and nobody on that shot.
Murphy's had a pretty good season for the Braves so far.
Murphy came over from Oakland and then signed a long-term contract. The thing about these Braves is not only are they good, they're all signed like forever. Olsen and Riley and Acuna and Albies and Murphy.
Nice changeup.
Best player in Oakland last year. 18 home runs, 66 runs driven, and he played 148 games last year, which is an enormous number for a catcher. Of course, some of those were DHing. But nonetheless, now he's in a much better lineup, and his numbers reflect that.
We were talking about the, Mets and Braves and how they're going to attack each other. They usually have different teams every year. Well, the Braves might not have that. They might have the same team for the next 5 to 10 years.
Nice pitch. Again, that fastball is sneaky for Peterson. He doesn't throw it enough. He should.
Murphy's getting the ball to the catching time right now with Travis Garneau still on the concussion injured list. Travis was out on the field before the game today.
Here, Ken. Nice slider. 3 strikeouts for Peterson in 2 innings. Nice start for Peterson. That's what we like to see from him.
Struck out 3. Well, there's the list of contracts. I mean, most of their everyday players are locked up for the long term, including the last year's Rookie of the Year, Harris. Spencer Strider, who was just brilliant in the early season. He's pitching tomorrow for the Braves. And a broken bat foul ball off the bat.
Broke that bat into a million pieces. Wow.
Sailed it over to the dugout as the pieces of the bat flicked out toward Peterson.
Wow. Definitely. He didn't hit that. I mean, he hit that on the end of the bat, but Jesus.
I don't think I've ever seen a bat crack like that.
Wow.
Easy, never run with sharp objects.
Grissom came up last year when Albies was hurt, filled in at second base at age 21. He had a nice year. He wound up hitting 291. Was in a shortstop competition this spring.
Let's hope so, Gary.
Youngster Brandon Shoemaker. And Arcia won the competition, but then broke his wrist. And so here's Grissom playing every day at short. And the backdoor slider misses 1-1.
One of the reasons that Grissom was sent down, they thought he needed a little more schooling defensively, but now he's been rushed up with that injury. And he also had options.
Nice changeup. Peterson got all his pitches so far.
Aggressive. Been up for about 2 weeks now.
They say defensively that he needs work at shortstop. Doesn't have a quick first step.
1-2 coming. And he shoots one down
Oh,
the right side.
wow.
Right field, the base hit. Chase toward
That was an
the
excuse me swing,
Grissom.
but gets it past Pete Alonso for the first hit of the ballgame.
Base runner for either side. As Grissom shoots one past Alonso down the line.
I'm not sure where Alonso was playing. I mean, that's a ground ball.
Right there, you can see the circle on the back door. Went right
Oh,
with
he's
it.
playing way over.
Line, no chance at that one. The key to hitting that ball away is let it get deep.
Now Eddie Rosario DHing tonight takes outside ball one. It's really a testament to how bad a start Marcelo Zuna is off to this year. That Rosario, the left-hand hitter, is DHing against the left-hander tonight. Zuna has just completely imploded so far this year. Meanwhile, Rosario's 4 for 10 against lefties, so Brian Snitker figuring tonight, why not put Rosario in the lineup? Zuna, who has had all sorts of problems on and off the field the last couple of years. Rosario was plagued by eye problems last year, wound up having eye surgery early in the season, never really got on track after his NLCS MVP performance in 2021.
Nice
Peterson
pitch.
throws the fastball right by him, and it's 1-2.
Oh, okay, Joe. See, again, you watch him a lot more, so you see that.
What we've seen from Peterson that we haven't seen in his last two
Fastballs.
starts, aggressiveness, leaving strike zone early.
Grissom at first and 2 out. 1-2 to Rosario. And the breaking
Ground ball
bounced on the right
should end
side.
the inning,
The short
and it
throw.
does. So 2 solid innings for David Peterson, getting that 2-out hit for Grissom, but has no problem there, gets out of it. 2 solid innings for Peterson, bottom of the second coming up. 4, 5, 6 for the Mets, and Fried's coming back on the mound. Once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. The more likes go, the more this stream gets at the top of the list for people who want to see this stream and see this type of content. So once again, guys, hit on that like button. If you're new to the channel, first-time subscriber, say what's up. Let me know where you're watching from or listening from. Always like to know where everybody is from. I know we get a lot of people from California. I actually had a few people from Puerto Rico the last time, so it's kind of cool that, we're getting around the world here. And somebody was actually from New Zealand. I think it was against the Nationals or it was against the Marlins about a week ago. So we're expanding over here. That's pretty cool. I always like to see that. So far so good for both pitchers. Again, Peterson, Gary Cohen just said it. Peterson is attacking the zone, using all his pitches, and that is something that he hasn't done. He predominantly this year has been a fastball slider pitcher. When you have a curveball and you have a changeup, and Peterson has a good one, he doesn't throw it enough. I do think you have to continue to do that. If he uses all those pitches, not saying that you have to throw all of them great, but it makes the batter think a little bit more, and that's something that you just have to do. Ian's from Las Vegas, awesome. Ken, yeah, I know you can. From Brooklyn, but watching from my school in Philly. Ethan, what school you go to in Philly? You go to those well-known schools like Villanova? All right, so we're just waiting for the bottom of the second to start. Pete Alonso will be leading off in the second. So here we go, guys. Bottom second, Alonso up.
Rainy night in the big city.
Oh, okay, Temple. Okay. Well, that's well known. Jordan in Atlanta. All right. So you're an owl. Pete Alonso chased 2 sliders in a row. Right, it's the Temple Owls, I believe. And 3 sliders he chases in a row. Alonso basically didn't even want to bat in that at bat. Jesus.
It's got to have some little leg tail or sit to it. There's their circle change grip.
That was a changeup. Oof.
Yeah, it's a late set. Look at the movement. I mean, it starts on the plate, can't fall peak there, and it takes a left turn. Yep, good late.
All right, 1 out.
Second strikeout for Freed. Here's Jeff McNeil, who's had success against Freed.
Ken, that would be nice, but they seem like they like to take shortstops in every draft.
Jeff is hitting .405 over his last 11 games. He has really turned it on.
Once again, if the Mets take pitches here and do not swing at that garbage he throws in the dirt. He does not throw those pitches for strikes. Rarely he does.
He was doing much better this year. He's walking more. Last year,
There you go.
40 walks. And here we are, not even a fifth of the way into the season. And he only has 14.
Yeah, Jay, you know, these power hitters, they do. They always like those outside pitches thinking they're going to come back in. They don't. Ball 4, 4-pitch walk to McNeil. Mets get their first base runner of the game.
Well, that's not surprising, Gary. He's shown us over his career here that he's got terrific at the plate.
So 1 out and 1 on now, Marcana. Marcana DHing tonight.
All right, Marcana's DHing tonight.
Good numbers against Freed. 4 for 12 with 2 home runs. Freed has given up 1 run total in his first 3 starts this year.
Oh, ouch. That hurt. Foul off right on the arm of Murphy. Ouch.
Murphy lifted up his leg high, and that kind of freezes the runner because he's not taking it behind the mound, and he's balanced to come over and make the pickoff move.
24 pickoffs since 2017 for Freed. That's the most in the majors over that stretch.
Just outside.
It's part of the Gold Glove consideration.
You know, for a wet, freezing, windy, cold night, it's not a bad crowd,
3 Gold Gloves as well.
considering.
McNeil edging away from first.
Good eye.
The curveball was blocked by Murphy. Has to scramble after it. Ran over Cannon.
And that's what I found most interesting. One, he flips the glove over and he blocks it, gets it with his right hand, and then has to go through his ex-teammate.
It was 52 last time I checked, JL. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. It might be even colder now.
Hold by Freed, and he steps off right before it would have been a pitch clock violation.
He had to disengage.
Yeah, it's 53 right now. But the wind is, yeah, it's about 12-mile-an-hour winds right now. So, and at Citifield near the water. And McNeil gets a stolen base. Yeah, but the wind at Citifield is probably about 20, the way it swirls over there, and it's raining.
I think it's a good guess.
So, man in scoring position with 1 out there. Nice jump by McNeil.
You know, it's a good guess, though. Guessing after he had to disengage when he didn't want to disengage. That's a helpful guess as well.
Mets have 23 stolen bases on the season, 26 attempts, 88%. Nice to see. See if Marcana can get a base hit here. Nice. There you go, working the count. That's what I said before this game started. You got to work the count and get that pitch count up.
Brings in the count and Tommy Pham waiting on deck. He's Freed's 17th career start against the Mets. 7-5, 2.78 against New York.
There you go, stay alive.
Freed in the stretch kind of lulls you asleep with that slow leg kick, and then he has a speed up that you better be ready for the fastball.
Just for reference, Freed gave up 3 stolen bases all last year. So we got 3 in 4 starts now.
Canada hits one. It should be caught by Harris. I don't think McNeil's going to tag here. Yeah. Harris got a good on. Ooh, nice one. Nice throw. 2 outs.
That's
Well,
a young player who just coming back for his first game. Couldn't wait to show the hose.
So kind of had a pitch to hit, but popped it up. 2 outs.
So 2 out. McNeil still
All right, see if Tommy Pham can get it done here.
Tommy Pham. And Pham is trying to snap out of the slump. 0 for his last 14.
Umpire's not giving those low strikes.
Glenn Wilcox missed a couple pitches this inning.
Pham stock in trade is his ability to hit lefties, but he's hit just 206 against lefties so far this year.
Good eye.
And Frank is upstairs 2-0. Quick Walcott, the home plate umpire, Junior Valentine, the crew chief, Adrian Johnson, and Manny Gonzalez rounding out the crew. The alert to the weather tonight and throughout this series. That curveball.
Nice pitch to take, that curveball.
That's your little favorite there, Ron. In the little back outside corner, get the over curve. I mean, elite pitching is when you can flip that in.
They're showing the fans right now. It's very uncomfortable. Cold, rainy, and wet. Oh.
Properly prepared tonight. 2-1 coming to Pham, and the curveball bounced foul.
Another nice curveball. JL definitely a tight zone tonight. I have no problem with that as long as he's consistent with the tight zone.
So that would be something that would be. I'd have told you, you would know or discover.
Rays get a little bit harder as we move through the evening. Neal at second and 2 out. 2-2 to Pham.
And Pham strikes out on the changeup. Mets do not score with a runner in scoring position, so Mets go down in the bottom of the second and no score going to the top of the third. So once again, pitchers got people on base and got out of it. So far, so good for the pitchers, not so good for both offensive so far. Again, I mean, usually you're going to get better pitching matchups in bad weather, especially when it's cold, wet, rainy, and windy. You know, the hitters have a disadvantage already. So again, I think it's going to come down to who's going to get the big hits. That's basically what it is, because it seems like it's going to be one of those nights. You know, wouldn't be shocked if it's a low scoring night considering the fact that the weather sucks. So, and as Gary Cohen said, the rain is coming down a little bit harder, so it's just going to get worse. So probably going to help the pitchers a little bit more. Yeah, Jay, and again, you know, I think people look at, all right, the Mets didn't score. Oh, damn, that sucks. But you know, you can work a little bit there. You keep him out there for a while. You're gonna get tight. You're gonna get cold. You know, I think he threw 17 pitches in that inning. You know, he threw not even. I think it was 10 in the first inning. So you got that pitch count. You know, he threw nearly 20 pitches in that inning. You know, again, Fried is a guy that can throw 90, 95 pitches. And again, in a cold night, I don't know if the managers are gonna let those guys go out there for 90 plus pitches. You know, it's a cold night. You know, you don't want to get these guys hurt either. So, you know, obviously these games are important, but you also don't want to blow out their arms. And, you know, they might get tired quicker. You know, when it's cold and wet, it sucks pitching in that weather too. It sucks as fans to sit there, and that's just how it goes. But, you know, you deal with it, and somebody's got to take advantage of it, right? Somebody's got to win the ball game. So once again, guys, we got 80 in the stream right now. Top of the third, no score. Braves have a hit. Mets don't have none. Both had runners on. The Mets had a runner in scoring position, but both did not score. So top of the third, Peterson, 27 pitches so far. So far, so good. So here we go. Top of the third.
Kevin Killard takes a strike on a curveball from David Peterson.
Yeah, committee. You might be right about that.
He played last year after fracturing his shoulder along with the Dodgers. Really nice year for the Mets 2 years ago.
That changeup has been nasty for Peterson today. Something that he doesn't throw enough.
2 years ago, 15 home runs for the Mets. He got hit in the face and came right back.
And that should be a fly ball. 1 out. There you go. Again, he got some good wood on that ball, but again, the wind's blowing in and swirling. It's gonna take a lot to get it out tonight. So Justin Verlander had his rehab start in Double-A today. 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Should be back on May 3rd against his former team, the Detroit Tigers in Detroit. His first start as a New York Met.
2 strikes.
Harris said just 23 at-bats before he went on the IL.
Ground ball should be quick 2 outs. And it is. There you go. Well, Ethan, you see, again, we talked about this with Peterson. Peterson has 4 pitches. You wouldn't know that over his last couple of starts this year because he's only been throwing sliders and fastballs and once in a blue moon changeup and curveball. He got to mix those pitches in more, and that's important.
Enormous chain that they put around his neck tonight. They had a chain on him last night. They went super duper chain tonight. After a slider for a strike to Acuna, nothing.
This is when you want Acuna up with nobody on.
The game had a 111-mile-an-hour line drive to short. Lindor caught it. We were off and running.
Not every pitch has to be a strike. It's an effective pitch.
Exactly. We mentioned before, Scherzer's very good.
Yeah, Ken, that was the Nimmo gnome. That was a great gnome that they gave out. I actually have that one somewhere in a crate somewhere. It's one of the better gnomes that they gave. All right, Peterson, let's go. 2 strikes and Acuna.
1-2 coming.
And he struck him out. There we go. Woo! 1, 2, 3 inning by Peterson. That is what, strikeout number 4 for Peterson in 3 innings. Nice to see. So if you don't know and you haven't been watching the Mets, yesterday they brought out the giant Brandon Nimmo garden gnome that they gave out, I think 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And they blown it up and made it huge, and they put it in a dugout. So it's just a funny thing that they're doing, and they got a big chain around it today. So lighten it up a little bit. I think that's just something that all teams need to do. The Braves had that big Braves hat when they hit a home run. Of course, because Major League Baseball and their sponsors don't like to have any fun. They told the Braves that they can't wear it no more because New Era and the hats are their sponsor, and they got the logo of the New Era on it because they make the hats. They weren't allowed to wear it anymore, so that's kind of stupid. But can't make the players have fun, unfortunately. But kind of cool. And exactly, Gary, he's looking good right now. All his stuff is working, and look what he did there. Even though that high fastball inside might not look like a good pitch on game day, but it was an effective pitch because it moved Acuna off the plate a little bit. And guess what he did? He struck out on a terrible slider in the dirt to end the inning. So sometimes an effective pitch might not look like it in the strike zone on game day, but that was an effective pitch because it was high and inside. You know what? Moved Acuna's feet a little bit there. Had Acuna thinking about inside a little bit more, and then he went inside in the dirt and got him swinging. So first 3 innings for Peterson, very, very good. And on top of that, low pitch count. So far, so good. And again, this is a perfect opportunity for Peterson with bad weather. So we'll see. Here we go. Brett Beatty leading off the bottom of the third. Yesterday, 3 for 3. Big home run to right center. Nice to see Brett Beatty batting .390 in his last 9 games. So he is starting to look like the prospect we were all hoping for. So let's see what he can do against a tough lefty. Excuse me. There you go. Lay off that crap breaking balls. He does not throw those for strikes. It's very rare he throws those for strikes.
That's a pull hitter.
There you go. Hits a fastball inside up the middle. Leadoff hit for Brett Beatty. He is heating up, everybody. First hit is for the Mets. Gary, I'm telling you, Beatty has the swing. And you always seen the confidence, even when he was struggling at the plate. It was a letter-high fastball and took it right up the middle. Hit it exactly where it was pitched. That's what you like to see from Beatty. Now Alvarez, who's starting to heat up a little bit as well. Committee, that's a good point. I think this is a good matchup for Alvarez. Again, you lay off those breaking balls. He's coming in the zone with that fastball. It's just very obvious with Fried. If you swing at that garbage in the dirt, you're going to have a hard time at the plate. There you go. He throws that fastball over the plate.
Last series last September, and a couple of bats against him, so he's seen it before.
Come on.
And he's got to be careful with Fried out there on the mound. And a
Right up the middle.
past the mound, Albies to the bag, and just beats
Ooh.
Davey there.
That was a close play at second. Hit it off the end of the bat. And it went up the middle, but they got the guy at second. That was a weird play. I think he was out. But that was a nice play by Albies. That wasn't easy.
Pitchers are always going to react to the ball directly.
So Alvarez is on first one out.
Caught a piece of free G,
Oh, it hit the mound. Damn it.
or hit the rubber or something, really changed direction.
Yeah, that they could have got crossed up there. Just got him.
One out of one.
All right, Brendan Nimmo.
Grounded out to first base his first time up. And fastball at first strike, 96 from Fried. That's as hard as he's thrown tonight.
Alvarez had it looked like a good at bat there. He had good swings off for free.
3 for 24 now in his career. Boy, has he been hitting lefties this season. 364 coming into the night.
Ooh, swings past that fastball. He struggles against Fried, Nimmo, 3 for 24, but his hitting a very good lefties. Very good against lefties this year, 364.
I thought it hit the side of the mound.
0-2 to Nimmo. 3 straight fastballs, and it's 1-2. Starting Marte on deck. His team with 1 hit. It's trying to break through here in the third with Alvarez at first and 1 out. The rain falling, you just don't know what the rest of this night is going to bring, how long this game might go.
Nimmo fouls off a nasty pitch to stay alive.
Game or night might go, and you don't know how the series is going to shake out, really, with the weather for the weekend.
The way the rules are written now, if you don't complete 5 innings, if you don't have an official game, it becomes a suspended game, and you continue it on.
And Nimmo strikes out on a fastball, 2 outs.
That's 4 strikeouts for Fried, all fastballs.
Gary, you know how many players, hitters, in the course of this long baseball history have lost a home run in the first 4 innings of a ball game with a rain out, or take my 0 for 2. Good, thank goodness.
And
A race.
that doesn't happen anymore. But if you do play 4.5 or 5 innings and have an official game, then you can have a rain short game. That still is in play. So you're getting a run early in the 3rd inning of a game that might last less than 9. It's a big deal. Marte took a call 3rd strike his first time up. Alvarez is getting like a half a step lead off first base. They've obviously told him about a free.
He's been forewarned. Sometimes you take those small leads because you think you ensure yourself that you're fine, and then you start to take that secondary lead, and he still picks you off.
I will never forget in the postseason in 1999 when the Mets had Kenny Rogers and Andrew Jones was on first base, and he kept his foot on the bag.
Yes.
He went on a little bit. He would not take a lead against Kenny Rogers because his move was so good. 1-2 coming, and knocked down by Murphy on a changeup in the dirt and stopped 2-2.
I remember at Busch Stadium, Ricky Morton had the great blowout, and he picked off George Foster. Remember, Ron?
Yeah.
And George took the lead to the ball. He just stood there, the first baseman, to go tackle. I think it was Franklin's.
Now, guys, 2 outs. Man on first. No score. Top bottom of the 3rd.
I thought you were talking about the Don. It was Ricky Morton, I believe, had the good move, correct?
Yes.
Ground ball right to the shortstop and does end the inning. Mets do not get anything with a leadoff hit to start the inning. Going to the top of the 4th. No score, guys. So not a lot of hits for both teams so far. Mets have had multiple guys on base for the last couple of innings, but didn't get anything done. But again, in this type of game, every run is going to count, especially with the weather today. And again, with the rain, again, with the, not sure how long this game might go. Anything, if you play 4.5 innings and you play that many innings and there's a lead for somebody, they will call the game and make it official if the rain gets too bad. So one run could be the difference in a ball game if they don't play 9 today. So gotta be careful with that as well. That's why it's important to get that run. And the rains come down, they make it official. The game could be over, even if it's 5th inning. So gotta be careful there. So top of the 4th, the Braves will have up. I believe it's 2, 3, 4. Yes, Olsen, Riley, Albies in the top of the 4th. So far, so good for Peterson so far. Judah, I don't understand that. I mean, we kind of don't know, but a lot of people saying he has a swing like John Olerud. So for Beatty. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. First game of a 4-game series against the Braves, round 1. Remember, only 13 games you play against your NL East teams this year, unlike the last couple of years when it's been 19 games. So a lot more of these games matter, especially if there's a tiebreaker like there was last year. So we shall see. So they're showing Braves won 10 of 19 games, 14 games decided by 3+ runs. So when the Braves or the Mets win against each other, they win by 3 or more runs. It's kind of a weird stat. All right, so here we go. Top of the 4th, no score. Olsen coming up.
5th straight National League East title. 4th inning in the rain, Matt Olson leads off against David Peterson, who's been terrific so far. 4 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed in the first 3 innings. And Olson takes a slider out of the strike zone for ball 1. Olson took a call third strike and a curveball his first time up. Riley and Albies to follow 2, 3, and 4 at the Atlanta batting order. And Peterson is going to take a pitch clock violation. He knew it. He knew the clock was running down. He wasn't ready to go. So it's 2-0. And now 3-0. And I can imagine that can get you a little discombobulated.
I mean, because occasionally during the course of the game, you just can't decide what to throw. You need to step off. It tells you something. Olsen was swinging there even though he didn't swing. That's something to keep in your mind for later in the game.
I want to see the pitch selection here, 3-1.
Grounded toward the hole, the door on the backhand, the jump throw the first base.
Got him. Yeah. It's close. We'll see if he got him. Oh, he's out. They're not challenging. Nice play by Lindor. 1 out. Just by a step, it looks like. Woo. Oof, that was close. Oh, got him by a half a step. Nice. Oof. Just got there. Nice play.
No one felt worse than Lindor last night, right? With the error that kind of was part of that big inning for the Nationals, culminated with the C.J. Abrams grand slam.
You're getting 3 hit batsmen, an error, and then a grand slam. It's almost like an Oakland inning.
All right, Peterson getting a little wild here.
There it is, just got him by a half step.
Second straight batter now. Peterson's behind 3-0. Ian Riley's got the green light.
And he walks him on 4 pitches.
There's the first walk given up by Peterson.
This is where if you're David Peterson, you want to just get the cobwebs out. This is the first 2 batters that he's really gotten kind of behind in this game so far. Just go back to what happened before.
Second time through the order.
Albies in a soft ground ball to third was thrown out his first time, and he flies this one.
All right, ball going out of play.
Big fan as a pitcher is that if I'm rolling as long as I can roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to change when I'm going through the second time through the lineup. If I kind of own them the first time through the lineup, let them show me that they're on something.
But is there a temptation to think that you have to do something?
Oh, yeah.
Nice
That's the
changeup.
name of the game, Gary. Belief that your stuff is better than their stuff. And once you're there, then you have a chance to fly.
Don't overthink it.
Yeah, because they're wearing black jerseys.
0-2 to Albies.
Yeah.
Riley at first and 1 out. Albies is tearing it up as a right-hand batter this year, and that's consistent with his career.
He started hitting left-handed when he was 16.
What's up, Isaiah?
Starting a whole lifetime. Our first half of your life on one side of the plate.
Got him with the changeup. 2 outs.
Got the changeup. 5 straight hits now for Peterson, 2 down in the 4th.
That changeup has been money for Peterson today. Look at that ball just drop out of the zone. Woof. It's nice to see him throwing something else other than slider fastball.
David's had a problem with home run balls, and some of those have come against changeups. 7 home runs allowed in his first 5 starts. Here's Sean Murphy, and he takes a knee-high fastball for a strike. Murphy struck out his first time up. It's had a great come-from-behind victory yesterday after they let a 4-1 lead get away.
Ground ball right. Oh, nice short out. And gets out of the inning. Flips it to second for the 3rd out. Bottom of the 4th. Mets coming up. So far, so good. Pitchers have been winning these battles so far. Again, it's going to come down to, it's going to be extremely hard to hit balls out of the yard today. And, in a weird way, that favors the Mets, who is not a home run hitting team. Got to get those hits lined up. And they done well to get on base in the last couple of innings. But, the run production is the issue if you're not going to hit the ball out of the yard. So we shall see right now. But a pitcher's duel, something that is probably, I guess you could just say it probably was the case, considering the weather. But I think a lot of people were kind of shocked. I mean, people didn't even want Peterson to pitch against the Braves. Committee, well, that's what they said. I don't know if that's true or not, but if you notice, the cutter for Robinson has been like the pitch that basically changed his career with starting from with the Yankees. When he was pitching with the Yankees, and he took it to Philadelphia, he took it to other teams, and then he took it to the Mets. It made him a better pitcher. He had 3 pitches, and now he has 4. And as a closer, if you have 4 pitches, it's not easy for a hitter to, line you up in just one inning to figure it out. So, yeah. I believe he did, to be honest. But not 100% sure, but I would think so because Robertson had his best years with the Yankees. So that kind of makes sense that he learned that cutter from Ariana. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button if you're just tuning in. We are going to the bottom of the 4th. No score. Mets Braves. Game 1, round 1. Oh, yeah, Camille. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people, when you don't see a player every day, or at least a lot of the time, and they're with other teams, we just look at the numbers. And it's not fair to look at the numbers just like that. And that's why when people are like, oh, he sucks. Well, or he's not that good. And there's still people online coming into the ball game, which is crazy to me. But, hey, actually, for a shitty weather day, it's not a terrible crowd. I know the Coca-Cola Corner really doesn't get a lot of people when it's rainy and cold and wet because it's a crappy area to sit in when it's this type of weather. Lindor is up, bottom 4. No score.
I would say we're part of
That we are the problem.
Oh, okay.
Can't move the game to the afternoon.
No, Dale. But you know what? It's a battle of nutrition when it comes to this.
We've got some prime time billing that we have to do.
This type of weather.
Lindor grounded out to third his first time up. And Francisco waves at the curveball.
That's a curveball that you don't want to swing at.
Lotso and McNeil to follow against Freed, who's given up 1 hit and lead off single.
Again, after this inning, it's an official game.
One struck out 4.
Ooh, just outside.
Change up 1 and 2.
Oof, nasty curveball. Batters have been taking bad swings on both pitchers today.
That's an off-speed
That is a nasty curveball.
lots of spin and tremendous break.
Pete Alonso coming up.
Game tying hit at the eighth last night.
Well, it went the other way. They wanted to go inside, and Pete was struggling. But you know what? You got two base
Pete Alonso struck out on backdoor sliders, 3 pitches. See if he changes it up. Fried is throwing his curveball for strikes now, throwing it a lot more in this inning.
You see the difference between numbers he puts up when the Mets win and when they lose. He really has been the
Fastball inside, moving his feet a little bit.
So he has 24 of his 25 RBIs in April. The Mets club record for RBIs in April was 26. Jeff Kent set that in 1994, so he needs 2 more to tie that.
Oh.
Slider.
It's another
Backswing hit Murphy in the back of the helmet. Seems like a trend.
Pete apologized.
Well, Alvarez got it twice last night by Jamer Candelario. And
Judah, not last year.
That was on the concussion IL. That was a collision at home plate that hurt Travis.
Good eye.
Slider down to the dirt, 2-2. Blood. Byproduct of rain and dirt. Mud.
Or Jerry Martin.
Ground ball. Going to be a tough play. Whoa. Safe. High throw. Also almost got back on the big, but it looks like Pete Alonso beat it. And he gets an infield single. He would have been out on a good throw. Oh, they're telling him to check it, so he might have got his foot down.
Nice play by the youngster. I thought he got down in time. Let's see.
Oh, it looks like a tie. I don't think they're going to change that call. Looks like a tie.
Did a header right there.
Well, from what I just saw, it looks like this challenge should not overturn the call.
The ball just sailed on him, as you can see Grissom saying. And one of the reasons is
It looks like a tie. Again, the call on the field is safe. If you notice this year, the umpires are not changing the call unless it's undisputable evidence. Yeah, I think he's safe. Even though it's got to be 100% evidence to turn a call that is on the field. Yeah, it looks tie. Tie goes to the runner.
I bet it's becoming more of a guess than they'd like.
Well, because they're not getting to see all the angles that they want to see before they have to make a decision.
I can tell you as a first baseman, former first baseman, when you're in midair like that and you know it's going to be close, you can't will yourself down faster. You just
Here we go. Yep, safe. So the Braves lose their challenge. Yeah, tie goes to the runner. So Braves lose their challenge. Good hustle by Alonso. Bad throw by Grissom. Gets a 1-out runner on base.
not raining hard enough to stop it, but the culmination of the rain.
Well, Charlie, you should say we had magic because with all our pitchers out, 4 out of the 5, they're 15 and 11. Maybe there's a little magic that you might not think.
Always at the ready on a night like this. Ready to help fix the mound, throw some diamond dry on the infield, keep things moving. 3 balls behind the McNeil. He's got 6 pitches to McNeil now, all out of the strike zone.
Right in front of the rubber, that hard clay that comes into play, now getting shiny and slippery.
Too low to McNeil, and slider in for a strike.
That's true, JL.
Well, the bigger bases here, guys, that's a case where and maybe it prevents an injury. You come down, he lands on the foot, sprains his ankle, a whole lot of things could happen, a little more space for the base run. Yeah, because at some point, both feet are trying to play for a smaller
Nice try.
target. It's a bigger target now.
But let me ask you this. When they made the bases bigger, they didn't change the surface of the base.
No.
And you saw Pete skid off the base when it's wet. And I thought they were going to change that when they changed the bases.
They were supposed to make a more tackier base. Now, I'm not sure if that has been done.
I mean, ever since Bryce Harper got hurt skidding off first base.
Ground ball might be a double play. And McNeil beats it out at first, so gets the force play at second, 2 outs.
One thing, Gary, we mentioned this before about guys slipping, and we've certainly slipped on what bases. But when I played, we played with metal cleats, spikes, and they dug in more. I mean,
some guys still wear metal, but some wear the molded cleats. Here's Marcano with McNeil at first. He stole a base, but he was bored in the second. And a curveball in the dirt. 1-0.
See if McNeil tries to steal another base here, try to get in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yesterday, and said just the opposite. He had a 4-run lead going in the ninth against the Marlins and lost that game 5-4.
15 and 11, Isaiah. 2 games worse than the Braves.
Their previous 648 games at home where they had at least a 4-run lead going in the ninth, they had won. The last time they lost one was in 1986. A 4-run lead at home going to the ninth. 648 straight times they had won, but not yesterday.
Ground ball should end the inning, and it does. Again, 4 innings, no score for both teams. 2 hits for the Mets, 1 hit for the Braves, Going to the top of the 5th. So, official game. So, again, with the rain coming down, and it's going to get harder over the next hour or so, runs in the next couple of minutes might matter, because it is an official game. I tell you right now, it's going to be very hard for them not to call this game if it gets really bad. And, tomorrow the weather looks absolutely terrible all day. So I don't know if they're going to actually they might call the game early tomorrow. It's a 4 o'clock game tomorrow. If they call it by probably 10 o'clock in the morning, I wouldn't be shocked. I know there's a giveaway. It's supposed to be a big crowd. There was 35,000 tickets sold today. I can assure you there's not 35,000 at that ballpark. And I can't blame them because it's a shitty day outside. So, unfortunately, Mets and Braves are at 0. 2 teams that, let's be honest, 4.5 runs per game for the Mets, 5.2 runs for the Braves. So far, it's 0 for both teams. But no score so far. The Braves will have let's see, what did I have? They got Grissom, Rosario, Pilar. What is that? 6, 7, 8 coming up for the Braves. Isaiah, I bet it is. Actually, it's probably anywhere but the Northeast is probably nice, to be honest with you. Because the Northeast is getting pounded right now with rain and cold weather. Philadelphia's terrible. Jersey's terrible. It's just bad on the Northeast. Boston, all those areas. So, just waiting for the commercial to come back, and we're going to start the top of the 5th. Peterson and Fried, pitchers duel. So, just waiting for them to put some stuff, the diamond dirt around the infield and pitcher's mound. So, they're giving Peterson a little bit more time to warm up since they put some of that dry stuff on the mound and in the infield. Yeah, Ethan, it's a terrible weekend. It's not pretty. Again, if they get 3 games in, they're going to be lucky because Saturday is a washout. I don't think they're going to play. Sunday, it's 50-50. Monday looks like they'll play. So if they get 3 games in, and what they're doing right now, they're putting the diamond dirt on there, and they're getting the grounds crew out of the field, and they're going to start the inning just now. So they're showing the close-up of the mound, and it's mud. So here we go, top of the 5th, no score.
Strikeouts, pitch to contact.
Will face Vaughn Grissom as the only hit against him tonight, a single to right in the second. Then Rosario and Pilar, 6, 7, and 8 in the Braves batting order. Peterson takes the top of the zone for a strike, and it's 1-1. Peterson's walked 1, he struck out 5. 49 pitches and 4 innings. Big change from his last outing. That's it, Sherm hitting short.
Ground ball. And 1 out.
6 ground ball outs now for Peterson. Mets Baseball is brought to you by the Rehab Doctor for a free home improvement estimate.
So if you're a Jets fan, they picked center from Wisconsin, Joe Tipman. So they got their lineman. And that's a base hit past Lindor.
That's one that Lindor couldn't get at. Hit too hard.
Trying to make a play like
We do, Charlie. Hey, Carlos, what's up? Just out of the reach of Lindor.
Ball up in the strike zone. Ron, he's a free swinger if there ever was one. Eddie Rosario.
Gets some dirt inside. They made that dive. Pawing at it. And a bounce throw to first base. And Lonzo saved Peterson from trouble.
The dirt in his eye because he slid on the grass. I was thinking that all the moisture came up into his face and got his uniform wet. Here's the bounce throw. Nice play by Pete. It's really good.
If it was a straight throw, he might have got him. Ricardo, how you doing?
Flying to center his first time up.
And Alonzo's Peterson's looking at the mound. The footing is not all there right now.
Threw a little helicopter up there. A big balloon got away with it.
We're still dabbing in his eye.
Fair ball down the line. Wolf. So just fair is at the bottom of the order. He's doing some damage with Peterson now. Second and third, 1 out. Was it fair? Just over the bag.
Third base umpire. Buck wants to talk about it, but it's not a reviewable play. Ball that lands in front of an umpire, fair foul call, not reviewable.
You know, that ball off the bat looked like it could have looked foul, but it took a funny bounce about 6 feet.
Buck Showalter is going at it with the umpire.
The third base umpire.
It's not his call.
I mean, it certainly appeared fair from the first replay that we showed.
It's fair.
As long as it hits in fair territory before the bag, it goes over the bag before it sails into foul territory. It's where it is in the air when it crosses the bag. So the infield comes in second.
All right, so Peterson's got to bear down here.
With Rosario at third and Pilar in second.
Going to be tough to double up Harris here. And Peterson has been keeping the ball up here, which is not what he's been doing in the first 4 innings. Infield is in, which makes sense because I don't think he's going to double up Harris anyway. Well, that was a hanger, not a good pitch, but he swung over it.
So Peterson in the spot where he dearly loved to strike out, and he's got Harris down to count 2 strikes with Acuna on deck. 0-2 to Harris. And he pops one foul. 3 straight breaking balls, and it's still 0-2.
As we showed, it was a warning from yesterday. Don't sleep on but the Braves lineup. Their rookie of the year, Pat's ninth.
popped it up, stay in play. Beatty should have a play, and the wind takes it. Wow, that sucks.
Alvarez does a lot of this. Watch his glove. Oh, that was he's trying to, in case a hitter's peeking, he's making noise inside corner and then popping out. He does that a lot.
4 straight breaking balls from Peterson to Harris. And he goes away with the slider, and it's 1-2.
Do you think he's given a target there early on? Because that's where Peterson wants to aim that and start that slider?
No. He's just trying Harris to feel a physical presence inside before the pitch is on its way.
Pushing the pitch down, but telling Peterson to shake.
Step off. You're gonna get a pitch violation.
Down 5 seconds on the pitch clock. 1-2 coming. And he goes away again, this time with the fastball. It's 2-2.
When you got the big guy in the on-deck circle, this is the man you want.
Boy, bounce changeup might be a good pitch here. He's not seen it. All breaking balls and everything away.
7th pitch of the at-bat from Peterson to Harris. And it bounces.
Good block by Alvarez. Full count.
It's 3-2. Well, the last thing in the world you want is to walk Harris in this spot and bring Acuna up with the bases loaded.
Correct. Nice job by Alvarez. He slowed that ball. That was not an easy ball that hits before the plate. Presents serious issues.
You don't see this very often. A 3-2 count on the hitter and a mound visit.
It's hard when you're locked in battle to process anything that someone's saying. And it could be about pitch selection, like maybe Jeremy's trying to sell him on something he believes would be a perfect pitch here, trying to help his young catcher.
Well, he's throwing everything away. Maybe he wants to pop him inside with a fastball.
That or like 3-2, though, it's changed now, Gary, because he should be on the fastball. I thought the 2-2 change might be nice, but listen, if you throw the proper pitch, you probably throw 1 or 3.
All right, big pitch here for Peterson.
Big pitch coming down to Harris with Acuna on deck. 3-2.
That was a nice curve, nice slider. Fouled it off though.
Harris did a nice job of keeping himself alive after falling behind quickly in this at-bat. Infield up. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. 9th pitch of the at-bat coming from Peterson to Harris. Slapped to third.
Right there. Throw it home. All right, gets him at 3rd. There you go. Good play by Beatty. 2 outs. Beatty should have thrown it faster, but made it a little more interesting. But all right, good job.
All right, this is a little poison up here right now. It takes away the open base. I bet he did the right thing holding on. Why? Well, you're right. You got to get to the catcher and run him back. The 3rd.
The reason you have to get rid of that ball is if it happens to be a speedster, you could lose the play, and he's not that fast.
All right, 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. Acuna up.
If you make the play quick enough.
Pilar's going to get the 3rd. There's no question. You throw it home to the catcher. Catcher's going to run the runner back towards 3rd base.
So now 1st and 3rd and 2 out for Acuna, who's lined out and struck out. You got Olsen, the left-hand hitter, on deck. Alvarez setting up inside, and it's live in right field.
It's the guy you did not want to get at the plate there. So first ball hitting Acuna. Good piece of hitting. Try to get ahead of him with a fastball, but first pitch swinging. Acuna's been doing that all year. 1-0 Braves. He was late on that pitch too, but got it back in front of it.
To Olsen, but Acuna jumps on the first pitch right there. Ball away, hits it right where it's pitched.
So 1-0 Atlanta. Acuna's 14th run batted in, and now Olsen First and third, 2 out. And just back safely is Acuna, who leads the National League in stolen bases with 13.
Wasn't a good pitch by Peterson there.
He had pitched him tough inside with that fastball, just missed.
Uh-oh. That's gone. Woo. Well, you hit it that far. 4-0 Braves. Left a hanger right over the plate, and there it goes. I don't care how cold it is, how wet it is, how windy it is. Definitely going to crush that ball. Again, you don't keep them in the ballpark, you're not going to win. Exactly what David Peterson left a hanger. Oh boy, look at that ball did not move. That's a shot. Well, weather wasn't holding that one. If there was good weather, that would have been 600 feet. That's a big time home run right there.
Quick turn of events. And very reminiscent of what we saw late last season from the Braves. They pounce, they pummel, and just like that, it's 4-0.
First home run for Olsen off a left-hander.
Well, really good forehands from Peterson, but couldn't get out of this one. That ball's a shot.
He knew. Everyone knew.
Exactly, JL. Again, the one pitch you don't want to throw to Olsen is that.
It was going so well for Peterson. He got that second out after the long battle with Harris. Well, 2 mistakes in a row, 2 first pitch hits, and 4 runs, just like that. 3-1 down Riley.
This entire season, he's been playing under a pitch timer. Peterson almost felt to me like he was pitching under a rain timer in this inning.
Riley shoots one foul fastball, 3-2. But go back to the idea. You battle so hard to get Harris to get that second out. Does that have an impact on the next 2 pitches you throw?
It shouldn't, because that's already gone, way gone. And Acuna gets your attention when he's on the on-deck circle. It's not like
Judah, I don't know what Showalter was supposed to do there. Like, it's the 5th inning.
big issues when it comes
Peterson was
to
pitching well. I just don't know what you're going to do there.
before you go to sleep the night before you start.
6 home runs allowed now by Peterson in his last 3 starts. That's on the outside.
And he strikes out Rowley to get out of the inning, but not before Olsen hits a huge 3-run homer to make it 4-0 Braves. Again, once again, we talked about this before the game. What Peterson was doing well in the first 4, wasn't doing it in the 5th. Again, that hanging breaking ball, I mean, that is a T-ball right there. That ball is on a T right there for Olsen. Again, and a Brave fan, JL, just said it. If Olsen doesn't strike out, he hits those hangers. That's just what he does. But unfortunately for the Mets, Peterson got a big second out and against Harris and couldn't get it done. Again, the Acuna one, I can't kill Peterson for. He was trying to get ahead early, but he also should know that Acuna swings at first pitches. So that first pitch should have been nowhere near the strike zone. He didn't do the job, and he gave up that 1 run to Acuna. And then Olsen, that pitch. I mean, I just can't get over that pitch. That pitch is just get me over slider. We'll see. Well, JL, I don't think he's going to pitch. Well, who knows? But well, look at it this way, guys. Right? You got to understand. Again, we talked about this. The pitcher matchup favors the Braves, right? We've said that from the beginning of the game, right? It's obvious. You can't go down runs like this against a good pitch, a good rotation in the Braves. It's hard to come back from them. Even though Fried pitching well, even if you go into the Braves bullpen that's been struggling, it's a tough road ahead because you got to keep the Braves at 4 runs to try to get back into this ball game. So, bottom of the 5th, 4-0 Braves. See if the Mets can inch back if they can.
Here's the grounds crew still hard at work to keep the field playable. This is not yet an official game.
crew on these nights look like the race crew.
Pit stop. Max Fried now with a 4-0 lead. Tommy Pham will lead off against him in the home fifth inning. And fastball runs inside for ball one. Pham, Beatty, and Alvarez, the 7, 8, and 9 hitters against Fried.
Again, Fried was in the dugout for a long time, so you can tell that he's a little off right now on the mound, throwing strikes. So you got to be patient with him right now. Or not.
17 inning scoreless streak is working on.
Exactly, John. Again, you got a long way to go here.
Your team scores. Run a 0 up.
Always important, even more important here, because if he gets 3 outs, it would not be an official game.
Ball
Pham
3.
watches the changeup up and away. It's 3-2.
One of the things you got to protect against when you're a pitcher on the long side of the record is that, and you're trying to get through this half of the inning, don't rush through it. Just do what you've been doing, because you tend to feel like you want to rush through it.
Trying to beat the rain.
Right at Albie's hard hit ball, unfortunately. All right, Judah, you got to go. I just don't understand. What urgency? Peterson was pitching a good game. What are you supposed to do there?
Gary Beatty a lot tonight against the lefty, and he spent a lot of time this offseason refining his approach against left-handed pitchers. He spent some time working out and hitting with Bo Bichette and Matt Chapman, who really talked to him a lot about having to have a different mindset, a righty versus a lefty. You can't just go up there and hit. You have to think about things very differently. And so the big takeaways were that against the lefty, he has to change his sights. So Beatty's thinking more go the opposite way instead of trying to hit it up the middle the way he thinks about it when he's facing a righty. Also, really trying to watch the ball get a little bit deeper so that he doesn't get beat and chase those sliders down and away if the pitch looks like it's coming in on him. So those are the two major takeaways that he had again from talking to Matt Chapman and Bo Bichette. Those two guys are righties, but you get the idea whichever side you're hitting from.
It's good to have you back, Steve.
Well, it's good to be back.
What round did you go in last night?
I think the Jets actually almost took me with 15. I really do. The Patriots enjoyed trading with the Steelers to make the Jets sweat a little bit there at 15. And I thought after the Steelers took the Jets' target that anybody was in play. So I was ready for the call.
Ronnie, what is he talking?
I have no idea.
Come on. Yes, you do. Keith knows. Keith knows what I'm
Do you have
doing.
any idea what he's talking about? Beatty
Yeah,
strikes
strike
out
3
in the
to
second
us.
out.
All I know, looking at Steve and knowing Steve, he better run a 4.4 40-yard dash.
He said he doesn't quite have the bench press.
The only way he could run a 4.4 40-yard dash, he dropped from where he is right now.
Wait a second, Gary, can you back me up? We worked out twice together on the last road trip. You
Yeah.
saw the way I was lifting.
Pathetic.
You guys ever watch Gary work out? That is intense. Speed.
I have not.
All I know is that I got 30 years on you, Steve, and I've lifted more weight than you are, and I'm not lifting much, so that's truly pathetic.
Man, that backfired on me.
2-0 to Alvarez, and a fastball in for a strike, 2-1. Alvarez hit the fielder's choice his first time up. But Max Fried looking for the shutdown inning after his take out of a 4 spot at the top.
Alvarez, you always want to plant that back foot. It's so important. That's your foundation. That's what you drive off of. And he's widespread with his stance, like so many hitters today. It's a pain in the neck, those raindrops on the bill of your cap. Let me tell you, folks.
3-2 coming. And he
And that's a line drive base hit for Alvarez.
right on that fastball. And the Mets have their third hit of the night against Fried, a 2-out single.
Well, fastball 4-run lead right here, and he's out over the middle. Alvarez just ropes it. No stride.
Yeah, Jay, and it seems like it's always on the home run ball when they hit those in bunches.
Right there, didn't overswing.
Again, we talked about it before the game. You keep him in the ballpark, you have a chance to win this ball game.
Takes the fastball away. He's been attacking Brandon with fastballs all night.
Gore did the same thing at his start when the Nationals were in town.
Tonight, Brandon's grounded out to first and struck out 0 for 2.
I see Brandon at his best against lefties. He kind of stays on top of that ball, going the other way at times.
Don't think he doesn't realize that he's not getting there on the fastball, and he kind of flew his shoulder open a little bit there. He's got to think line drive left field.
Good slider by Fried. It's 1-2. Tells the story of how VENMO has struggled against this quality left-hander. 1-2 coming to Brandon. And that's up and in.
I know what it's like to have a left-hander that's got your number. You don't like the face. He's got your number for a reason, and you battle, but it's a chore. It's hard work. They're really giving Brandon the left field line.
Infield starting to get awfully shiny, which is never a good sign.
And Nimmo strikes out to end the inning, so Nimmo has a tough time with Fried going to the top of the 6-4-0 Braves. Yeah, JL, for that was the problem with Acuna last year. Again, you can talk about the injury last year that might have put him a little, behind the 8 ball there. But yeah, Acuna is he's not trying to crush every ball, right? And that was a good piece of hitting there. But he's been, like you say, he's been doing that all year. He swings at first pitches. He's been doing that a lot more this year. And look, that was a pitch that he knew Peterson was trying to get ahead of him, and he took advantage and swung at the first pitch. Again, that's where Peterson has to be a little bit more smart in that situation, knowing that Acuna loves to swing at first pitches. That ball should have been nowhere near the strike zone, considering the fact that Acuna swings at first pitches. But again, you look at it in Peterson's perspective, 2 outs, trying to get ahead in the count. You can go both ways there. But you also got to know the batter at the plate too. And again, Peterson made one mistake today, and that was that hanger to Olsen that would have been out of probably any ballpark in history. JL, you don't want Acuna on the MVP on the show, because that always is a problem. Guys get hurt. Guys have bad years on that. It's like a jinx. So once again, guys, we're going to the top of the 6th. Braves lead 4-0. No, committee, you got to make it's not excuses. It's a fact what he did there. I didn't bring out his last game. He pitched really good the first 4 innings. Right? Remember, that ball down the line at third base wasn't hard hit. It was just placed perfectly. Like, what are you going to do there? Like, unfortunately, the Beatty wasn't guarding the line. And the tarp's on the field, of course. All right, guys. So the tarp is on the field. All right.
The umpires ordered the grounds crew to cover the field. They got the tarp on with alacrity. The forecast is not splendid for the rest of the night. If we were not to restart this game, it would be a rain-short victory for the Braves. And it all changed in a nonce.
It was a flash, right?
It was a situation where David Peterson got a huge second out after a long battle with Michael Harris, and then
well, I'm probably going to end the stream because I don't think this game's going to restart, to be honest with you. I think they're going to call this game official, to be honest with you, because the weather, it's worse the rest of the night. So I don't know how they're going to play it. If they're not going to play through it, it's a problem because you got 90% all the way through until midnight. So this game's probably going to get canceled. So everybody, let me put it on mute. And because this game is probably going to end in a called game and it's official, so that means through 5 innings, it'll be an official game and it'll be a 4-0 shortened win for the Braves. And again, the weather doesn't look good the rest of the night. 90% chance of rain the rest of the way. Putting the tarp on it, I don't think they're gonna play. I mean, they might wait an hour and a half, but I probably doubt they're gonna restart this game. And unfortunately for the Mets, that's the rule, and that's the rule, and that's only you can't do anything about it. You just have to deal with it. So Braves are winning 4-0. Was going to the top of the 6th, but the tarp is on the field. And if you check the forecast for New York over the next 4 hours, it's all 90% chance of rain, and the rain's coming down pretty hard. So there's a pretty good chance that this game's not going to get restart. It is an official game. If this game gets called, the Braves will win because it is the official game. Rain short an official game. 4-0 would be the final score. Again, I don't think they're going to restart this game. So we're going to end this stream a little earlier today because of the fact that committee probably 100, most likely, yes, most likely, because there ain't nobody else. Budo and Peterson's going to be gone for the most part. So that's probably going to be what's going to happen. So once again, guys, 4-0 Braves. It is an official game. The rain is coming down hard in Queens. I am in Queens. I hear the rain. So it is coming down. And again, 90% chance of rain from 9 o'clock all the way until midnight. And it's not looking good past midnight either. So pretty good chance that this game is going to be called. It is an official game. Braves will probably get the win. So unfortunately for the Mets, they didn't take advantage of a shortened game. That's on them. Right? So the only thing you could take out of this, you save the bullpen. I guess that's the only thing you could say because Peterson's probably not going to come out for the 6th. So once again, guys, everybody have a great night. This game is probably going to get called. Again, I do got work later tonight, so there's no point in me staying here for 3 hours talking about the same stuff over and over again until this game might start again, which I don't think it will. So with that said, guys, 4-0. Braves in the top of the 6th. Tarp is on the field. Weather forecast for the next 4 hours looks terrible. So they're probably not going to start this game. If they do, in some miracle, we'll see what happens. With that said, everybody have a great night. As always, Met fans, let's go Mets. There might not be a game tomorrow, so I'll keep you posted on the stream or not. And I'm supposed to go to that game, so we shall see. So with that said, everybody have a great night. Stay dry, stay warm in the Northeast if you are around there. Everybody have a great night. Let's go Mets. See you next time, guys.